All right, what is going on? We are back with another weekly watch list and game plan of SPY and IWM. So, if you've been tuning in to all of the other watch lists so far, I just wanted to say that I appreciate you very, very much. As again, I'm by no means an expert. I'm very green with trading. I've been full time with it. That means everyday game planning, everyday charting, every day showing up with a routine and refining my system since January 23rd of 2023. So I'm just doing these watch lists as a way to help improve my learning and pass on any education that I can along the way. So again, if you have been watching, commenting, liking, supporting, and you have no idea who I am, I really, really appreciate that and appreciate you very much. And I hope that you all have a fantastic week. So, kicking things off with SPY, I'm just going to break it down between fibs, support, and resistance. So those are, a huge part of my game plan and my system. So first things first, fibs, okay, on the daily, which as we know, the market is just bleeding heavily right now. The daily looks absolutely disgusting. I couldn't imagine longing anything at the moment. So if there's no, sign of a true reversal, I'm going to have a bit more of a bearish bias, okay? Looking at more resistance levels rather than support levels. And I think 4 of my 5 trades last week were on puts as well. So anyways, on the daily, okay, we have the low of the year to high of year, 61 fib, okay, it bounced down at 403.14 as you can see here, okay? So let me get the fib tool out here just so you can see in full motion here. So we take our low, okay, on the daily, okay, so this was just about a year ago, obviously on the daily, all the way up to our high. We're going to see that 61 fib is going to be right at that 403.14, 403.16 area. So I do have that marked for a bounce. I think it's very possible that we could be there. I also have our March low that also is a trend line bounce as well to our high of the year, and have a what do I have here? It is a golden pocket. So golden pocket between the 61 and 78 fib potential bounce as well, and that's going to be really anywhere between 403 and what do I have? 397, I believe I have. I'm just looking at my notes here. So anywhere here between 397 and here it actually shows 410. Why do I have, let's see, golden pocket 403 to 387 bounce? That doesn't make any sense. It says March low to high. I wonder what that is for. One second. I'm going to actually recap this in my notes and come back to this. Okay, I figured it out. It's still part of this year low to year high. It says year low to year high. If we do break through 403 for that 61 retracement, I am still considering a bounce somewhere between here, 387, and 403 as the golden pocket between 61 and 78. But I would need more other areas of support and resistance for that. But again, it's just something I have on watch, as the golden pocket and this downtrend has worked out many, many times on the way down. But yeah, again, also golden pocket 397 to 410 on the March low, which again is also that trend line bounce. So it's like we'll have that on watch as well. Golden pocket here, 397 to 410. So could we get a bounce in there as well? 403 is kind of right in the middle of that as well. So I think we could see a strong bounce here at 403. So we'll see. Time will tell. We also have this trend line here. Okay, touch here a year ago, touch here in March. Over here, it looks like we could hit it again somewhere around this 403, 404 area. So we will see. We also have strong support, formerly resistance, turn support at that 403, 404 area back here in May and in May and June as well. So we'll see. Again, I'm actually going to keep this trend line off the chart. I just think it's a little bit too cluttered, but I will have it on watch. Support, I initially wrote down this 410 hold. Or do we go down to 403? Again, 410. If we go over here to the hourly, let's get over to our hourly time frame. Hourly time frame, I originally was looking at 410 heavily. Like, is that going to hold? Is that going to be our bounce? But it does not look like that with a close this day on SPY. Just actually above 410, but we did break it intraday. So that's going to be on watch. So this 410 hold here opening on Monday, are we going to gap down tonight over the weekend? Or are we going to gap up, potentially 410 be our bounce? Who knows? We'll see. Or I do think that if we do break 410, I think that there's, that room down to 403 for sure. Okay. 403, 404. Right. Lastly, resistance. I have 411.85. Support, multiple touches. Previously now turned to resistance. We see this long wick here on the hourly as well. So that's going to be, if we get up back around this area, I will look for a reject, especially if we gap down a little bit over the weekend and push back up. If we gap up a little bit, then as you guys can see here, a little bit in my system here, I'm always marking the previous day high and low, and I mark it as a zone, okay, on the 5-minute time frame. Okay, so I'll head over there just so you can see that. And I use those as support and resistance. And this is a play that has worked pretty much every day since I started doing it a few months ago. It's very high probability. So using Friday's highs as resistance and using the zone, I just used the wick all the way down to the bottom, the body, top of the candle, and then same thing for the low of the day as well, using this zone. Okay, so it makes it very good for risk reward. So if we bounce off this, a close will be just below the previous low of day, and we have this up like a huge risk reward. We're risking. Let's see, if we enter here at 409, maybe 409.30. We have a 10-cent, 15-cent risk for a $2.50, $3 move. That is a great risk and reward, and that's something that's a big goal of mine for this week. Is actually written on my whiteboard here, is letting my winners run more and being the best loser and having the best risk to reward for each trade. Okay, last week was probably my best week of trading this entire time and refining my system, and I'm looking to carry the momentum into this next week. So I'm always looking at the previous day's highs and lows as support and resistance, but again, using them as zones. So, if we do push all the way back up here, I do have a previous resistance level up here around. It looks like there's a lot of opportunity up here for rejection back down with, again, good risk to reward. This would be another $2 move back down. These ETFs, specifically SPY, do typically have zone-to-zone moves. So that's it for SPY. Let's head over to IWM here. It's definitely set up to be a crazy week in the market for sure. Okay. Same thing as you can see on the 5-minute, we have the previous day high and low. So again, going to be looking for rejection if we get back up to here, looking for bounce if we get down here towards the low of day. Okay. For resistances, okay, first one is going to be this previous support turn resistance. Let me head over to the hourly so you can see it here as well. It's where I chart most of my key support and resistance levels. You see we have support, break of support, come back up, retest, break through, support again, and then what do we see here? Resistance, a long wick back up, resistance as well. So I'm going to be using these two levels here as rejections, okay? 163.8, 163.8, and then also down here, again, support, big support, right? What happens? We support again, we wick again, resistance off this, the other level I mentioned, 163.8. We finally break the level, retest, rejection. So support, turn resistance. So again, going to be looking there. And if you're wondering what this blue line is here and on SPY, it's just the previous day's close. It's just another area of confluence I use for trades because the previous day's close usually acts as support or resistance. I won't say it's usually the strongest level, but it's nice to have for just other areas of confirmation if I'm taking a trade, okay? One thing, a big part of my system too, is also a lot of my trades recently in the last month, I've been really refining this, has been intraday fib levels. So yes, I have my support and resistance and all that stuff, but if we simply just take this high of day on Friday down to the current low of day, you're going to see a rejection, okay, right at what? The 61 fib. So, and it's just picture perfect. It's also a previous resistance level that I had marked as well. It just doesn't get much better than that. You simply stop out just above that level and you have a huge move down. Again, another $3 move, 3-to-1 risk to reward, very good risk management. You simply have a stop loss just above this level. If you're wrong, big deal. Trading is all about probability. You have a small loss, it's just a paper cut, and if the trade ends up winning, you can let your winners run. You can maybe scale out down here at the support that I had, and then again all the way down to low a day. So the fib levels, these intraday fib levels, have been working extremely well. Another thing too has been just intraday levels in general. I sound like a nerd there. In general, I have that written down this week as well. I'm seeing that a lot. Just like intraday levels where we're making support and then turning resistance. Here's a good example right here. If you were taking this support level for this day here and mark it out, where do we reject? I know it's pre-market, but in the aftermarket, but where do we reject? Right there, right? If we take this wick here, this support, and this is how you know this is good support. Look at the length of this wick. right? So look, we wick off of this level here, huge support. Where do we reject the entire rest of the day? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejections that entire day. You could scalp those moves down. So going to be looking for intraday levels this week as well. In regards to potential bounces this week on IWM, again, like, am I biasing bounces much this week? Not much. I mean, do we gap up and hold this 162.64? Potentially, but I think that's going to be mostly support turn resistance, okay? 164 and 165 resistance as well. So up around here, this rejection level. And if we get back up here to, again, 165, be looking for put entries over there. 163.8, like I said, potential rejection here, right? Support, support, break, support, support, resistance. So we'll see about that. I'm just going to write that down real quick because I have that on the hourly. So that's on the hourly. Let's see. Also, if we take this 162 level here, right, this 162.64, it's actually nice support on the weekly as well. 1 touch, 2 touch. And again, the higher the time frame, higher probability you're going to get the reaction that you want at the level. So 1, 2. We did get a bounce intraday, but it then eventually broke through. So again, are we going to reclaim this level and treat it as support? If not, the only other bounce that I have is down here. This 152.26, which is our max time frame. So if we go here to the time frame and we just go to max available on the weekly, and we take our fib tool and we go to our max low to our max high, what do we have here? Okay, we have, let's see, well, max high to max low. Let's see. How am I? Hold on one sec. Let me just see. This is, again, why I need to think through these things on the, as I'm on the fly here. I think it was this low here. I'm just always trying to remember which low it was. Let me see. Yeah, so it's right here. So this previous low, it wasn't the, let's see, when was this actually? This was 2020. Yeah, so this COVID low to this high, right? Doesn't need to be the low. This is what, 2003? Yeah, it's definitely not as relevant. It was this one here on the max time frame, high to low. I'm sorry, low to high. We have the 61 fib right there as marked. So that would be my next potential support, all right? So that's all I have for you guys this week. I appreciate you watching. Again, as you can see, I do make mistakes even live here on the video, and it just helps me learn and think through them. So I appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the content, please consider subscribing, dropping a like, dropping a comment. Those are all greatly appreciated. So I wish you all a great week just in your personal life, your businesses, relationships, and of course, in the market. So I will see you guys. Actually, I will not have a video next week as I will be on vacation. So I will not be trading next week. This coming week, I will be trading, but the following week, I will not. So I'll see you guys the following week after that. Have a good one, and thank you for watching.